Roseanne Show. The big screen's first lady of action, Pam Grier.
There's no woman who could ever do what you did and do.
Maybe I'm just crazy. I don't know. Nobody else wants to do it. Nobody wants to get hurt or be physical.
My first guess was the first female action hero, and some of us think the only one, to hit the big screen. My favorites are Coffee, Foxy Brown, and recently the great big old hit Jackie Brown. And if that's not enough, she is so huge that she even has her own aisle of videos at Blockbuster. You don't get bigger than that. Please welcome Pam Grier.
Gorgeous. You go.
I'm gonna go.
What a...
Pam Grier. How gorgeous is Pam Grier? You want some of my cookie?
Yeah.
This is killer.
Christmas cookie.
I'm taking the stuff out where I bit.
Oh, that's okay.
My germs on there.
My germs. You know how we used to.
I'm so happy you're here. You are like... There's no woman ever who's done what you did and do. There's no woman who could ever do what you did and do. Isn't that right?
Thank you so much.
I mean, they got Sigourney Weaver and everything out there trying to be like Pam Grier in The Alien, but just can't do it. Just can't, nobody can do. How?
I don't know. Maybe I'm just crazy. I don't know. Nobody else wants to do it. Nobody wants to get hurt or be physical.
But you did your own stunts and stuff in these movies back when.
Well, you know, in the 70s, that was the women's movement, the birth of it. And women wanted to be more defensive, more protective of themselves.
Right.
And so, you know, I'm an Air Force brat, and brothers and cousins are throwing me down the stairs for entertainment. So I learned how to protect myself. And that's one of the reasons why I do stunts so well, you know, being in a big family, and that the fact that women wanted to not be victims then. Right. They were saying, no, 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 we want to be appreciated to be the best women that we can be. We don't want to be like men. Right. We don't want to compete. We just want to be the best women and allow us to be that. And that's all.
Well, a lot of us were, you know, were and are like that, but we never did get to see it on the screen.
Yeah, but, and you know, from my neighborhood, which she also is from my neighborhood.
We're both from Denver.
Mm-hmm. And all those characters were my mom and my aunt, my relatives. And yes, Miss Roseanne, my mama, to this day, thinks she's passing. And that she's the Roseanne who was so funny. And she kept talking about this Roseanne.
Isn't that weird that we may have, like, lived in the same and ran in the same circles? Isn't that weird?
We might be
knowing
relatives.
that till today, maybe we are related.
You might be my cousin.
I might be your cousin.
You might be my high yellow cousin that lived down the street. From Sinbad up here, Tim Allen over there, and you around the corner.
So many of us were from Denver. But, you
Denver
know,
will make you funny.
Denver does make you funny. I guess it makes you tough, too, because look, we're both tough.
It really does.
You were like one of the original cheerleaders of the Broncos.
I didn't bring that up.
How happy were you? How happy were you when they won the Super Bowl? How awesome was that?
I was there.
I was there too.
Oh, we missed each other. I was there for MTV. They brought me in, and yes, I was there, and I had some money on it. I was so excited for them because they've really been a team that was a choke team of America.
Right.
They'd start out 82-0.
Right.
And by halftime, it's like they're losing. How does that happen?
I know.
And now they've turned it around, and it's really great, you know, to see Elway and everybody playing so well. But yeah, I was yay.
Yeah. They're the best. They're the champions.
Yeah, but as a cheerleader, I was only a cheerleader until the second snowstorm.
Why? What happened after that?
And them little boots and that little skirt, my was so hard you could cut glass. And you know what I'm talking about.
So you just switched up to become like, you know what a like huge symbol you are to like women. You know that, and a lot of other, you know, men too, but.
Well, I really represented the womanhood, you know, around the world that was trying to fight and do something and say something. And I just happened to be one of the first to bring it to, you know, film.
But I don't think you were one of the first. I think you were the first. And now looking at, like, the sorry state of women in movies, I think you were the only. I mean,
yeah.
plus you had like your fierce physical thing.
Yeah.
You had a fierce spiritual thing going on. And then you had an incredible sexual thing going on, because they don't ever let those three go together, do they?
No, they really
let
don't.
One
or the other. You can be
you can be sexual, you gotta
attractive,
be
but
dumb.
you can't have a brain.
No, right.
You can be physical, but then you're a man. You know, and that's
Right.
not true. We encompass many, many things. And it was very hard to define yourself then, because they're always trying to pick you apart.
Right.
And I felt very much alone, because there weren't any women filmmakers or actresses at that time. I was really by myself.
Do you think you're still by yourself? Well, I saw you in
Not
Jackie
anymore,
Brown, I have to tell you. No, seeing you in Jackie Brown, which was so great. And I'm so glad that he, like, gave you...
Yeah.
He wrote you something really good. I'm a huge
I
fan of yours. I think
Thank you.
you mean so many things to a lot of us on so many different levels. We're going to go to commercial and talk about how you kick cancer in the ass. When we come back...
Now, sooner or later, they're gonna get around to offering me a plea deal, and you know that. That's why you came here to kill me.
I ain't come over here to kill you.
Hey, it's okay. Now, I forgive you. Now, let's say, if I tell on you, I walk. If I don't, I'll go to jail. I want $100,000 in an escrow account in my name.
He is an awesome actor, too. He's a great actor.
Yes, he gives you so much to work with. And you just come away saying, he's good, and I'm keeping up with him. And that makes you go home and say, wow, and you learn so much from him.
He's like my favorite actor in the whole
He's
wide
awesome.
world.
I love him. And his wife and his daughter, they're just the best.
Tell us about when you found out you had cancer. How long ago was that?
It was about 10 years ago.
What
Yeah.
happened? You just went in for a regular
Yeah,
checkup?
I'm strong. I run every day. You don't have any symptoms, and all of a sudden they call you furiously all night. Call me, call me, call me, call me. What's up? It's not good. Next you know, I've got like an 18-month battle. And I'm going, and all of a sudden your whole life stops.
Now, did you think you were going to die right from the start?
Well, you know, you hear the myth, you hear a lot of things, and one of my closest friends was
didn't
the
they
late
tell you
Minnie
that?
Riperton, and
Oh,
she
man, she
had a
did that.
battle. And I was like,
What kind of cancer was it, Pam?
well, it was a very strong evasive abdominal that could spread. Maybe, you know, you're going through tests. You can't work. You can't think about the next hour.
Right.
You just look, you know, who do you tell first?
Oh, my God.
Who do you, you know, support, because they're not going to be able to go to work, and I support so many people, and it's like, you know, you really have to keep your energy to start healing and fighting.
So you did decide to do that?
You have to.
Yeah.
You have to. You have to shut everybody off, so you just say, okay, what do I have to do? I have to follow directions. I have to do what the physicians say, and just pray. And with prayer and doing what the physicians said, I mean, we're not playing.
Right.
We're not kidding. And the battle began. and I didn't think I was going to make it after my first operations. And unfortunately, it was really very strange. The guy that I was dating and living with for 3 years, that day, oh, should I come, you know, like, should I be there? You know, no, he had some job problems he needed. No, get that done and straightened first. That's his next job.
Right.
And then just be there when I come out, when I wake up from the surgery. And the day of the
Unfortunately.
surgery,
Yeah.
he didn't show up.
Man.
I didn't see him until I bumped into him 5 years later on the street. And the third day, my mom had called him.
Where did that take you? I mean, what place did that take you to?
Well, I'll tell you, the first 3 days when I was able to call and see if he was okay, if he was coming, if he was there, if he was, you know, because I had it all, the surgery and operation stuff done in Los Angeles. So when we couldn't find him, he didn't return phone calls, and my doctor, this wonderful, loving physician out at Cedars, he said, Pam, don't think about him anymore. You need to think about healing, and you need all that energy, you know. And I'm physically strong. I lift, you know,
Right,
and run and stuff like that. And like, oh, wow, it means nothing. You are just like everyone else. Right. You're a human being. You either fight or you don't fight. And so from that day on, it was the fight to heal, and a few more operations and procedure, and then there tests every month.
What was that like to decide or to fight to heal? Tell us about that, because a lot of us don't know.
Because you don't know what you're fighting. But a little tiny cell.
You feel like you're fighting your own body?
You are. And you're wondering how, why. And it's interesting that we have done so many horrible things to our environment that the children are dying off before our parents and our grandparents. Right. We didn't have cancer in our family. All of a sudden, it's like, what? Right. How and where did we live on a toxic dump? Or
yeah, we did.
Bad water? Or,
there were a lot of dumps found in Denver, and a lot of kids died.
There's something up
all
with
over.
that.
Yeah.
You know, so thankfully, we are.
Where'd you get your head, though, Pam, to like go, okay, I have to fight what's in my own body?
Well,
did you like go to a real high spiritual place?
I had to, and I had these two great dogs that hung out with me that wouldn't go even eat. They would stay at the foot of my bed and guard my bedroom when I needed just to be quiet. And I would exercise. I started taking a lot of Chinese herbs.
Well, let's talk about it more after we take a commercial. We'll be right back.
And Chinese folk get to come over here and talk any which way. You know, I buy my fruit from Mr. Lee. I don't know what the hell he's saying. I point, he backs.
See, if you want big bank, to have a nice ride, live in the bomb crib, you're gonna have to get jiggy with standard English. Because you all that.
That's a clip from the show you do, Links,
yeah.
which is really a great show that people really need to watch. And I love that you have a race and a class intersection going on in that show that's very important for people.
And it's not censored. It's real honest. You don't have a track. You get to think for yourself and laugh for yourself.
Right, it's good. It's a really good show, and I hope it gets very successful for you.
Thank
but
you.
I want to hear about
I know you do.
You know what I want to hear about. I want to hear about you and going to a real God place to get over cancer.
Well, I found the God in me, which is your will. We're born with that, the will to continue breathing, to love, forgive. There's so many things that you are about if you can recognize it. And people teach you. That's what church and spirituality is for, how you treat yourself. Spirituality is about taking care of yourself, cleansing yourself, eating right, the Chinese herbs, being inclusive. My physician told me, go down to Chinatown. And that's exactly where I went. They gave me all these herbs and teas and things, and I started taking them, and ginseng and working out. Next thing you know, my body started feeling better. I had to build my immune system up. And all of a sudden, I became that thing that we always search from somewhere. And we thank and we talk to, but it's right in here.
But didn't you make a big change inside yourself? Because first, after this guy left you and you were in such a low place, did you like not want to live for a while? Is the way I understood it.
I'll tell you, after the first operation, there were days where I didn't want to take any more tests, where you feel so bad you're not going to win. And there's some days I was hurting so many people just going with me. There's some days I don't want to live anymore. Take my life. I don't want to be here anymore. This is too hard. This is scary. I don't know if I'm going to make it. And there were days where I just felt like, killing myself.
Why didn't you? Why'd you keep going?
That God, that thing, I said, no, you're not ready. I'm not ready for you to go yet. And thank you. And I believe that we all are messengers, and what we've learned from
Is that what you learned from?
Yeah, that I'm a messenger.
And
to
what's the
bring
message, Pam?
About love and caring and taking care of yourself. And if you take care of yourself, you can take care of anything else. You know? And then you get back so much from it. And there's this nice cyclical thing happening. And that's your spirituality. And it makes it like, there was a time where I felt like unattractive. I was Frank's Place, Tim Reed, who wrote Links for me.
Oh, wow.
When I did Frank's Place, got me back because I wasn't looking well, and they said, well, you got to do this role, you got to do this role. And I'm saying, I don't know if I can even remember lines. I haven't worked in 2 years. I was planning on quitting, just putting everything in my mom's name and just like, you're just chilling out. Wherever I'm supposed to go and be, that's what I'm going to do. And they brought me back in to do Frank's Place, and I remember not looking well and being sore and different, you know, just like, oh, and they accepted me, embraced me, and I was bringing something to them, you know. And then one day I would tell people, you know, about taking care of yourself. And if you have the same problem that I had, I've been in remission for 10 years.
That's amazing.
It is amazing, because you would have been reading about it in Jet, you know, and having Richard Pryor do my eulogy or something, but it didn't happen. And now I came back, thank God, with Quentin, really liking my work.
Now you are so on your way back. You've got 2 movies coming out. You've written a screenplay?
Yeah, several, play, my books.
Will you come back and talk to us more? Because we are totally out of time.
Oh, honey, you know I got to come back. I got to hear about you in Denver.
Yeah, we have to talk about that more in a whole bunch. You are and always will be and always have been a great inspiration to me and women everywhere, and we love you. Thank you for being here. And have another cookie. Have another cookie.
Excuse me.
Traditional Mexican dancers from LA's best will show us how Christmas is celebrated in Mexico next.